The popular saying states that if a task is never ending, it's like attempting to paint the Forth Bridge. Well, metaphor lovers, it's time to find a new comparison, because by Christmas this year, the job they said would never end is about to. The Forth was the world's first major steel bridge, and it took 5,000 workers 7 years to build. Now, this marvel of Victorian engineering allows up to 200 trains a day to cross its 1.5 miles of tracks. The current repaint has taken 10 years to complete. I'm meeting one of the men in charge of the 200-strong painting team, Supervisor Ian Heath. Ian is all the way up there. Hi, Ian. The only way to the top is via the rather rickety service lift. And look at that view. It's just fantastic, isn't it? Look at that. So Ian, the legend of the Forth Bridge is, of course, that it's so vast that the painters would start at one end, and by the time they'd finished at the other end, they had to go right back and start again.
It is, and originally that's what happened. The original system on the bridge, simply paint straight on top of the flat plate that came from the foundries and so on.
So how many layers of paint would there be on this bridge?
30 layers, 40 layers.
Wow.
Maybe more in some places. Fundamentally, if you don't take care of paint on a bridge, it will deteriorate. So we recognised that coming along, and we needed to have a new way of doing the bridge. And the best way of doing a long-time paint job is to blast right back to a very, very clean, bright steel finish, actually. And
right
then,
back to the original steel of the bridge?
For the first time ever, it all had to be removed, right back to bare metal. This is a blasted surface.
So what you do is you blast it back to the actual raw steel, the original steel the Victorian engineers made this bridge out of.
Precisely.
And then what's this?
This is a primer layer, so that protects that blast surface. This baby is what's called the glass flake epoxy. It's a paint that was developed originally for the North Sea oil rigs, and we've used it here because it's an extremely impermeable paint.
This state-of-the-art epoxy resin will ensure that the bridge won't need a recoat for at least another 3 decades.
The paint principally is applied by spray. Every edge, every rivet are basically painted by hand.
With 6.5 million rivets to paint, I thought I'd better pitch in. I feel like the Michelin Man.
Where do I start?
Pick your spot.
Like that? Is that good? That's a bit messy, actually. How's that?
You really want to take some of your excess off your brush before you actually apply it. Just make sure you get right round the rivets.
Do you think there's a job for me here?
Well, I had a few lessons. I'd maybe be able to get something sorted out for you.
It's actually much harder than you'd think to do this. The wind's blowing, it's actually really cold here, and every few minutes, one of these comes through. Shane and his fellow workers will finally down brushes by the end of the year, by which time they'll have carefully daubed 240,000 litres of paint onto this majestic landmark. And it shouldn't need another coat for about 30 years, which as far as I'm concerned is a good thing. I'll tell you what, lads, if this is the Forth Bridge, I wouldn't want to see the other 3. Oh, come on, it wasn't that bad, and anyway, you've missed a bit.